a power pick. I believe it's 4-0 in playoffs so far out of the 4 games it's been played. Very high presence, very high ability to just be a safe and reliable go button.
Also, is a flex. We've seen it mostly in the jungle, but you can still take it down in that support role for Zhuo. If he wants to, Lwandy snaps up that Rakan. Now it's available once again. Stay going to go back to the Zeri. Azir open and available. But that Lucian that we talked about, even though it's not really been a big pick for Photic Zhuo across this year, still such a powerful bot lane. Okay, so Stay and Lwandy don't really play for lane kill duos like a Kalista or the Lucian Nami and stuff like that. Lucian and Nami also kind of suck versus Maokai because when you jump forward with the Lucian, the Maokai ults you back and then suddenly you don't have that dash to go backwards then to dodge out on it. Now you have the Maokai and the Lucian Nami on the same team. It is so hellish to approach them when you don't have like control of the lane that you're around. If Lucian Nami gets a jump on you in mid lane with the Maokai ult coming across as well, you just get gunned down. The first target gets hit by the full culling if they get rooted up as well. I think this means that, you know, Rek'Sai and K'Sante become very high value here in the second round of bans for NIP, because if Wayward can go on to something like a K'Sante and just press W to block out some of that culling for the rest of his team, just body block a bit of that upfront damage, that can maybe help his long-range carries, which WE have continually shown that they favor, the Azir and the Zeri. Yeah. That could potentially see off this combo, but it is dangerous unless you have a front line. See what's going to come through. The LeBlanc banned away from Rookie once again. We've seen AD LeBlanc this playoffs. The Tristana already banned by NIP earlier in the draft. So with a Maokai in the jungle, you quite often do see these AD mid laners. Something like a Jace could still be open and available for Rookie, but his Talia taken off the board.
Well, I don't think we should see that Talia ever again from Rookie because it is too good. We called this out. Right, of all the picks you give to NIP, you give him that Talia in game 2? Nah, I don't think you're going to be doing that one again. No, this is especially if Heng in the jungle. Now, it does mean that you can go unstoppable with your passive. And of course, that means you can walk through that Maokai route and then still disengage. I don't mind this. This is a WE special. They played it a little earlier into the split. Didn't really see it as much towards the mid and late game. But it is someone that can run at the Maokai, and the Maokai can't do a great deal to stop him continually running him down.
2 wins and a loss with the Mundo jungle across the year for
One of them was against NIP. They played it against NIP in the regular split. I remember this now. They have the experience here in this matchup.
Which maybe could be a bad thing, honestly, because maybe NIP have figured out off the back of that game how to play against it. We'll have to wait and see. The Renekton comes through for Shanji. Wasn't that impressed with this pick from him in game number 1 of the series, but certainly a stable top laner that you're quite happy to take blind. Now we have to see what comes through in this mid lane.
I wonder if we see something like the Hui coming through from Rookie. Again, something that can be a really good tank killer given the right kind of situation.
Don't do it, Rookie. Please,
he's hovering this. Of the players in the LPL which got the Corki pass from me, it was Rookie. We are still in a Azir Corki meta. Look, we had a great patch where we had the Nico, we had the Aura, we had playmakers everywhere, and now we have found ourselves back to this mage duo in the mid lane. Have heard some rumblings that maybe Crit Corki is okay now because of the AD itemizations you can go towards Infinity Edge later on that can be valuable. All the same, Rookie is looking to be tank killer extraordinaire, take down that Rek'Sai and that Mundo. Problem is, if you're playing around scaling carry versus scaling carry, the enemy team has the Rek'Sai and the Mundo, which are tankier than the Renekton and the Maokai in late game, and they arguably have better late game damage in the Azir and the Zeri as well. NIP need to use their 1 and 2 item spikes very, very effectively, because I feel like they get outscaled.
We'll see if they can use those spikes, deny that scaling. I just can't believe we're in our 3rd series of LPL playoffs. We got Corki versus Azir. I've been an Azir defender. You know, Azir came back in 85 presence so far in pro play. I've been defending it, saying, you know, we get things like the Yone from Rookie in game number 1. Things like a Kali can be good options into it. No. But Corki is also a good option into it. And it does mean that we have a bit of a slower one here from NIP. But like you say, the Lucian, very much a power spike that you need to play through. But this is going to be a big team to try and battle your way through with a Mundo and a Rek'Sai. They're going to be invincible.
Potentially so. Now, there are some bonuses to this. Again, stuff like the Lord Dominates Regards. Very, very powerful item right now. 35% armor shred and also being able to cut down through high health targets. So both these AD carries looking to get towards that as soon as possible. Probably looking at the 3rd item mark from both of these. And stuff like the Infinity Edge and Navori also being buffed up can potentially help both of these champions too. So, feels like this one is going to be very much front to back. Less of that flanking nonsense that we've seen in a lot of these other games. It is just straight up fist fight, kill the front line.
Game number 3 here between NIP and WE. And we essentially start what's become a best of 3 now between the two teams, both with a very solid win in their previous games. Both of them having a loss that feels like they were a little bit taken apart. WE forced out of their bottom side here. As you can see, Rookie moving in to get a ward on the blue buff as well. Heng moving to that bottom side, as he will be, by the looks of things, starting on his blue. You can see deep vision on the side of WE around that blue buff as well, as Stay takes a heavy chunk to start the laning phase, but FoFo and Heng are moving down. I don't think they'll find anything here at level 1.
Not at this point. See that Rookie also gets to sit here and just get a decent trade level 1 as well. Gatling going to start can be hard to get a good trade through the minion wave, because once you start auto-attacking, you pick up minion aggro, but getting that trade off the wave means that Rookie, you know, who has been an exceptional laner in the early game in terms of mid laners. I don't feel like a lot of LPL mid laners are focused on early lane. I feel like Rookie, it's not even necessarily a focus for him. He's focused on everything. He's been a great all-around player, but he's been one of the most successful laning players in the mid lane. You can see exactly how he can eke out advantages like this.
And I think when it comes to that mid lane, a lot of focus, especially in metas like this, where we see so much like Karma, Talia, the Azir coming back in, Corki in there. A lot of it is often focused on who can clear the wave the fastest, but when you're talking about players like Rookie, no matter the matchup, there's always a bit of extra strength there. It's a good trade onto Lwandy coming out from Photic control. But like being able to potentially threaten a kill, being able to put direct pressure on the enemy laner often changes these matchups when you're talking about the very best players in the world.
And I think we've seen this occasionally from W when they were playing with Prince. We'd even see it a little bit there with Stay as well, where you know, understanding of laning phase is so important. We just talked about it just now to another degree as well. But Stay walking away to put a ward away at level 1 to make sure that there was no level 3 funkiness coming down opens up a trade for Photic control to jump forward with a first strike proc coming through as well. That's important. It means that you were playing with less HP when you get towards your level 2 and your level 3. And that can be really important because these advantages from players, particularly like Rookie, and honestly Photic control on the Lucian have looked really good with these duos too. Of the duos we put them on, I think the Lucian has been one of the more successful ones from NIP. That's why it's been banned away from them so much. And I'm really worried now for WE, because if you're giving this Lucian Nami ability to keep Lwandy under turret, what have we said about WE? They are a team which disproportionately relies on Lwandy being out of lane to secure the map for them. That didn't really happen that well in Game 2 because he got shut down when he went towards mid lane and he was killed early on that Janna. If he is kept under turret, I am again feeling a little bit apprehensive about how WE overcome that.
I'm going to be able to grab this bot lane Scuttle Crab as Aki's moved towards that bottom side. Heng leaning towards that mid lane. I don't think he's looking for a gank on Rookie here. He's looking to just go straight through that mid lane up towards the top side Scuttle Crab. So this will be double Scuttle here for Heng after his full clear. Looks like Aki will just have to reset, realizes nothing's going to happen down in this bottom side.
I think that Aki was just shielding the crash in from bot side in the potential 3v3 bot side. Could have been something there, but again, just means that Heng getting slightly ahead in this matchup at least, and he'll be going towards, again, very tanky first items. Actually interested to see what he goes towards his first items, because a lot of the tank items have now changed. Of course, someone like Mundo, he kind of just gets a lot of damage just by building a load of HP, which is really nice for him. So we'll see what he ends up going towards in that regards too. We'll see what we also see from the first couple of recalls for Photic control.
Photic does manage to get his recall off, so I'd say the more important of the two recalls to be on that timing and be able to get in, get the wave, spend that gold. FoFo taking a hefty chunk, obviously. Rookie has already head back to base, bought a bit of, well, I was going to say a bit of damage. He's bought a tear and a null magic mantle. Lwandy takes a turret shot as Zhuo managing to hold the wave here. And Photic not far away from that bottom lane as well, so he's going to miss like 3 minions there, but getting most of it. It's pretty nice stuff from Zhuo.
It is, it's nice stuff, and you know, Photic now back in lane with a courtesy shard. Stay's going to go back and get the same. It means that now suddenly your laning phase becomes a lot more strong in regards to those quick burst trades, which particularly Lucian tends to be very successful at. Dragon going to be started. It's going to be as Stay comes back towards lane. If there is a fight around this Dragon, you'd imagine Stay can come to respond to it. It might be a little bit late. Might also be important whether these mid laners come down to the party as well. FoFo ward over the wall means that he knows that he's not getting jumped on by a flash map.
Shanji actually going to use a Dominus up in the top lane, Wayward. Tunnels out, though. It's just impossible to get onto that Rek'Sai, isn't it? Even with the Dominus, Shanji just can't keep on him.
This champion, man. Rek'Sai. Yeah, what's there to say about it, really? Any kind of sustain in top lane is problematic. To the point where Renekton, who's the other big kind of proponent of this, is trainer of offside, actually. That goes down. Not sure it's going to lead to much of a kill. But yeah, basically sustain in topside. It was removed from Renekton because it was too obnoxious. And then suddenly Wayward comes in and is like, even at level 1, basically sits there and gets to get a free health potion per rage stack pretty much the entire game.
Yeah, it's a little absurd currently, as we may have a dive at the bottom side. Photic getting so much damage down.
Heng's coming down.
Against WE's bottom lane. As you say, Heng in the picture now. But with WE's bot lane so low, I'm really not sure even 2v3 they can threaten anything here. I'm pretty sure Photic and Zhuo would just one-shot either Stay or Lwandy. Exhaust is available for Lwandy, so NIP do have to be a little cautious not to overstep this one, but just the amount of threat coming down here is so obnoxious, even cancelling the recalls.
Ah, man, WE, they are not going to have Lwandy that particularly present in this early game, nor are they going to have Stay particularly present either. They are both been absolutely hammered by that Lucian. I know that they ended up, you know, banning out that Rumble instead of the Lucian here in this game because they wanted to get Wayward into a better laning state, and he's doing that. You know, he's doing his job. But the problem is now that WE typically need two things to go well. Wayward to have an impactful champion, particularly earlier into the game, so that means that he gets himself a safe lane matchup where he can kind of just outvalue in topside. He's very good at leveraging them. But you also need to help this bot lane too, because Lwandy has been a real beating heart of this team. It's being stomped on a little bit by the Lucian Nami. Duo is not one that we see let through the ban phase all that often against the players which really still favor that one. And Photic and Zhuo doing a good job to kind of just make sure that WE don't get to have that big presence from Lwandy.
You just see Wayward takes a full trade from Renekton. Hang on, Rookie's going in the mid lane. FoFo gets that Emperor's Divide, and now it's just a DPS race between them, but FoFo's winning. Heng has moved into the picture. Cleaver flashed away from, but Rookie too aggressive.
Okay, so what Rookie was doing there was trying to W over the soldier placement, because obviously it doesn't do much damage if you're not on top of his soldiers, but the problem is he doesn't have the vision to understand that he's going to get ganged up on later than that point. Aki's now coming in to protect the rest of this. Rookie's still a little bit afraid, I think, of maybe a flash play coming in while he's under turret. It's not good enough. Now he's flashing onto FoFo.
All big damage coming on through the roots should set FoFo up. The root does land despite the shuffle, and FoFo falls first blood to Aki.
Oh, FoFo falls on his face. Rookie and Aki get themselves another first blood for NIP. 3 out of 3 so far in this game, and the gold goes over to Aki. Rookie's still happy to pick up the assist gold, though. Already has himself a Hex Drinker. The more gold you get on Corki, the more happy you feel.
You certainly do. Wayward starting to do Rek'Sai things now. He's kind of the new Udyr of the top lane, isn't he? He's the champion that does the Udyr to Udyr.
Yeah, but you got to be very careful.
Just ignore and hit plates.
Got to be very careful not to say new deer in that one. I think, you know, April Fools, we just had that one. That one had been a funny skin for that one, but we don't say that anymore up to that point. So you get again really big level 6 trade coming through, and sadly the culling is not going to be that great there, but all the same, 20 CS lead being built up, even up a little bit more with the wave coming in, but still CS lead. And FoFo, he just used his ult, burns his flash, Aki, and gets a really good pick off there. And FoFo, after using his soldiers again there too,
so
can't quite get himself out of that ultimate route. Sapling comes down, Bramble smash, good kill from Aki.
He did play it well on the dash, but just a very corner caught there. It's pretty unfortunate for FoFo, to be fair to him. But either way, it's first blood for NIP, and a bit of that pressure that had been mounting in the mid lane going to be denied here. Rookie going to be fairly even in farm, has that assist as well. And, you know, that level 6 acquired, so powerful for so many champions, but Corki, absolutely one of them, where those rockets are part and parcel of your entire kit. Photic does get knocked up and Stay getting a very positive trade.
He is, and that's kind of important. It means that Photic, rather. So many foes in this one. So it's like, next thing you know, going to be eating noodle soup after this point. But Photic, he's going to get a look for himself a reset. Once he gets the first item, it's really, really strong tip. We've seen the Lucian go towards the Shiv. For those of you who kind of missed out on that one, seems like every AD carry goes to Shiv if they can help it. Photic can be stopped on that recall. We're going to quite get that clean reset to get that first item where he can really start taking over the game.
Yeah, it feels like the conversation with Shiv, it's less about whether or not it's a good item for your champion, and it's more about, does your champion build crit? If so, this has a lot of stats for not much gold, and it gives you a bit of wave clear too, so why would you not build it?
It's just like, you know it's bad when Nymeara and Jhin are building this. It's just not okay if those champions think, yeah, I'll have that one, that'll work out. You know, these champions are not meant to build this stuff, folks. All the same.
It's really nice for Jhin, I will say. I've been playing a lot of Jhin recently. Yeah. Just one tap in waves is very satisfying with the dancing grenade. Enough about Jhin though, let's talk about NIP setting up this Drake and Lwandy. We talked about him being an influence for WE. He's on a flank right now, but Rookie's found him. Package available. Lwandy could be in trouble, but Rookie going all the way around here. Photic stepping forwards. Wave going to be used to try and deny any follow-up. FoFo forced away and stay down in that bottom side. Rookie gets in with the package, and FoFo annihilated. Double bubble from Zhuo as Photic looks for more under the tower. Shanji flashes under, but the rest of the team isn't actually here yet. Stay does go down. He's cut to pieces by Shanji. Who needs teammates?
Rookie showing on the other side of that fight too that he has the Corki pass, returns the package to sender, and takes down FoFo with it. NIP, great dragon fight. Yes, Wayward gets himself a big advantage in top side, but still, NIP get themselves an important objective to make sure that W aren't just stacking up dragons on the bot side, and they get some good gold onto particularly Corki once more. Corki going to be such a game-changing talent in this game. You can see that this fight's not clean because Photic was stopped on that easy recall a little earlier. It means that he's starting this fight at lower HP, but Rookie packages through the Emperor's Divide. FoFo gets completely caught unawares. He goes down without being able to influence the game. You know, FoFo's as fantastic as it, just not able to influence that fight at all. NIP comprehensively shut him down.
Oh, in the meantime, Wayward has gone past the mid lane tower.
Oh,
Photic is here. Look at the damage coming out from the Lucian. Wayward escapes. These tanks are just not tanky enough yet. Photic forces them out. Rookie catches the wave.
Scary stuff. You can see that the Lucian at the one item and Corki with early gold are starting to threaten them an awful lot. The thing about champions like, particularly the Mundo, you're a stat stick, and you have to stat check. If you can run at them, and you can just outvalue them and outspeed them as well, then you run at them, and you kill them. If you can't do that, you don't really have a great other amount of gameplay to play through. You can see that, you know, Photic has the Anathema's chains on him from Heng, so he wants to be just running at the Lucian and landing Qs, but because you now have, you know, so much extra gold on the side of NIP from these last few fights, it's pretty dangerous for them to run straight at him. You can see Photic putting out a lot of return damage.
Really aggressive positioning from Photic on this Lucian as well. Trying to get as much value as possible. Obviously, you have the sustain from the Nami too, so you kind of can just trade HP with stay, quite happily take some of the trades that aren't necessarily perfect trades, but as long as you're not actually going down, you're very happy with the way that that's going and getting value out of the procs from your stack Shiv as well.
And also,
stepping forwards. Okay, Lwandy's fine, I think.
So the thing here as well is that you also have this ward on top of the screen. They're so important when you're playing Lucian. It's mirrored on the other side too in mid lane. When you see Lucian, you have to understand that if you have like 2 wards just over those walls, you feel so much more confident as Lucian because you can take very quick trades. You can position aggressively like this because you have those wards. It means you can go in for big trades and kind of never really have any response on the other side. I mean, the Mundo, great if you catch Lucian alone in melee range, but not good if you're trying to respond to him a full screen away. By the time you reach him, he's finished the trade and he's run off. So WE, they're going to be losing mid lane control. You need to be very careful about this now, especially with Photic with Ignite and Flash available. If they do get themselves towards this Herald, though, it'd be a good objective to take to maybe just contest this mid lane pressure and threaten that mid lane outer turret.
So WE will grab that. Nice little advantage for them. Much needed, honestly, in this game. 1,000 gold down, but even in Drake's. But now they've been caught in the mid lane. Stay has to flash, but the root still lands onto Lwandy. He's forced to flash as well. Quickness out too. Not quite a pick, but 2 flashes burnt from the side of WE. NIP very willing to pull the trigger in this game.
Because they have full vision to do so. I feel like most of this game and most of this series has been about who has gotten control of the information warfare before the big plays come through. Game 1, WE, they could grind that out because they denied NIP any vision to make plays off of. Game 2, felt like it was the opposite, and in Game 3 again, you've got great item spikes and the vision to leverage these plays off of 2. While all this is happening, Rookie's pushing in a side lane. They have complete control over the bot side of the map, so their Lucian and their Corki can feel very, very safe when they're going for whatever the plays they want, really. And when we get towards this next dragon spawn, it feels like particularly Photic and Rookie will be in very good position after farming up these waves and potentially eking out more extra CS advantage as well to keep pushing this game forwards.
It's feeling good right now for NIP. Look at all the tunnels. It's like a rabbit warren in the top lane here for Wayward, who just will continue trading all lane long, just goes back under the ground, fully heals up once again. Such a, you know, it's kind of funny really, isn't it? Because I don't feel like Rek'Sai is one of these champions that's like so broken that it's really oppressive, you know? Like, obviously it's very difficult to kill, it's very good at nullifying the top lane. It's not like Rek'Sai is taking over these games, so I just kind of find it entertaining for now. Rookie actually forced a TP here. We'll get away with it, gets to his tower. Nice threat there from Heng on the dive.
He doesn't have the Muramana yet, so he can't really threaten Heng in terms of the, you know, especially in a 1v2, even with the tower. Heng will just press ult and run at him, especially after Valkyrie had already been used. I think that's intelligent, understands that he's on, briefly, the weak side of the map. WE, from this, we just talked about how NIP have been getting control of vision control and then using that to make plays off of. They've just gotten themselves bot side vision, but they don't manage to stop Photic taking a chunk out of Stay's HP. Dragon up in 20 seconds, not having that culling and getting wards in the bot side. It does favor WE now. Teleporting now onto the bot side of the map. FoFo coming in with a full buy coming through. It does mean that NIP need to be respectful. This dragon could be a point where WE mount a defense.
Could be their opportunity. Oh,
no, that's teleport coming through.
Deep from Wayward. This won't be spotted just yet. As Aki spots that ward, Zhuo going to help him clear it out. But Zhuo and Aki are alone here, and Wayward's behind them. Zhuo doesn't get caught by the knockup, though. Wayward can't find his moment.
He has package.
It will still be Drake taken by WE. And I don't think there's much of an angle for a fight, even for NIP.
It's bad timing from NIP. Honestly, the setup for them was really quite poor as soon as Rookie had to teleport away from bot side. They were slow to pick up the package and to stop that dragon going down, so that's going to be unfortunate. They do get mid lane out of turret, though, so that will be a fine recompense for that one. I feel like if you don't get that turret, you feel really just bad about the overall state of affairs, but by getting that mid lane out of turret, it feels like WE, they're going to be, once again, really lacking tools to deal with the Lucian Nami. However, you need to be using this power spike as NIP. We talked about this from draft. It really feels like, particularly with all of these picks, you need to make the power plays now.
Exhaust down onto Photic after he chunks out FoFo. A couple of ultimates use Wayward over the wall, but he's spotted by a ward and will be forced away. Herald comes down. Rookie threatening Wayward on the side lane, but actually Wayward just goes in onto him. Wayward not afraid of this play in the slightest. Herald in. Heng has to back away once again. This duel between Rookie and Wayward on the bottom side of the play is definitely favoring the Rek'Sai. That sustain starting to pay off. And it feels like WE want to threaten maybe a dive. I don't know if they could really go for a 5v5 under the tower, but now culling comes through from Photic. Big damage onto Lwandy. The root's coming out as well, but Lwandy will get out with his life. A long extended standoff. It's just a tower. In fact, it didn't even get the tower in the end for WE.
But I still think, actually, at the end of this, you're fine with this for WE, because, again, this is where NIP are meant to be in their point of power. The fact that you can hold them to account, make sure that they don't get to push through that mid lane, you take a chunk out of that mid lane as well, it's still okay for them. They don't fall down in the play. This is not where they're at their strongest point in the game, whereas NIP, they're getting towards the point where they'll be hitting that soon. I think particularly once Rookie starts hitting 2-3 items, of course NIP will be able to fire back in the late game. It's not a straight-out scale situation from WE, but still, getting FoFo towards 2 items, getting Stay towards 2 items soon as well, I think that's when they can really start to look to threaten NIP if they miss position.
WE, remember, kind of underdogs coming in today. NIP coming in as a favorite, but realistically, the organization not got a long history of playoff success. They've only been in playoffs 1 time under this banner, finishing 7th, 8th. And then before that, kind of a turbulent history as an organization. V5 having some of the best splits of all time and some of the worst splits of all time, managing to cover both sides of that. Feels like Photic and Rookie been along for a lot of that ride. And now as NIP, I feel like this is their best chance yet as an organization since the rebrand to make a mark in playoffs. I will say you kind of wanted a little bit more against WE. I expected them to come in a bit stronger than what we're seeing.
Yeah, I think they've had some moments of brilliance, but game one in particular, it felt like they were really just stumped for what W threw at them. You know, the old V5 brand had one of my favorite kind of like random anecdotes in League history, because for me there was a weird thing known as the V team curse, where there was V5 and another team called V3 which played in Japan, and when V5 were the best team in the LPL for a short time, V3 went on like a record-breaking loss streak. We'll have to stop that. Here comes the fight.
Photic's gonna go down. He nearly takes stay with him though, almost turns it around. In the meantime, Wayward's onto Zhuo, who flashes to safety and heals himself up. One pick in the end, but so close to more.
Turns out that WE don't want to hear about the V-curse at all. They want to fight, and they do get a really important kill here, because this is, once again, in the power spike of the Lucian. This is where the Lucian's going to be taking over the game through the mid lane. The fact that you get a 1 for none there, it is a good indicator that WE are going to be starting to get themselves a really good point in this game. Wayward using a tunnel, it's like the, you know, here's one I made earlier, using that one, so he has another tunnel to get himself even faster into the mid lane, has another tunnel right here, and gets into the play as well, so Zhuo can't stick around and help his AD carry. WE finding a really good moment to pounce, and now they have their 2 items. I think before this point, NIP were very much in the point of dominance. Now WE, I think they have the combat stats to really start fighting back. And particularly now, Shanji is in a difficult position too. This is awkward for him.
Eeing forwards into the wave just as WE start to play on the bottom side. FoFo in danger though. Rookie nearly finishes that kill off, and actually he has a lot of damage at this point. Malignant's finished off. Wayward forced out, but he can't quite finish a kill. Now to the mid lane we go, as NIP desperately flail around trying to find some kind of answer.
And you can see that Photic and Zhuo, they're not really able to get the big kill combos with this Lucian. They've, you know, were shut down the last time of trying. Dragon spawning now, teleport back out onto the map, no Renekton. It feels like WE, they have got themselves a great position for this Dragon fight.
TP up for Shanji when he respawns in 15 seconds time, but Wayward is such a problem on this Rek'Sai. He's so hard for NIP to kill. At 7 seconds on that respawn as the Drake is just being burnt down here. Stay has so much DPS at this point as Photic dives forward, but FoFo just trades onto him. Wave across the team, but Wayward's in the middle of everyone, and Photic goes down. Wayward, the assassin tank on the backline. Shanji trying to do the same, but his champion was made in Season 1. NIP now desperate to escape. It's 2 for 1, and Baron in the eyes of WE.
What do you mean his champion was made in Season 1? Isn't it meant to be the other way around? Isn't it meant to be like the Season 10 champion curse or something like that? Well, I guess Rookie doesn't care for this kind of thing. Stay goes down, Photic's down, but I think particularly with the Azir and tanks alive, W should shred this Baron still.
I'm not sure there's a lot that Rookie can do about this one. He's trying to step up, has a big one in the chamber. Heng is getting fairly low, and that's a bit of damage, but instantly healed back up because he's Dr. Mundo. Rookie is getting some good work done. Maybe some picks off of the back of the play. Baron taken by WE, but everyone just flashing or dashing or tunneling or whatever to get themselves out to safety. And WE wrestle a gold lead.
By hook or by crook, Team WE find themselves now leading this game. This is, of course, after Shanji has already gone down, so they don't have him for the setup. And you can see that when Photic is jumping forward, meant to be this uber-powerful mid-game Lucian, he's traded back on by FoFo. You get some really good damage back on him. Wayward finishes up the kill as Photic oversteps. I think Photic has really struggled to use the Lucian power spike. We've known him to be a great Lucian player in Spring, but this hasn't been one of his best performances. He's kind of overplaying his boundaries now. I think he's getting a little desperate to get damage down before WE come online. Well, the problem is now they are online. WE, they have a much stronger set of carries, unless Rookie has something to say about it.
He's got the package online. This could be his big moment. Will he knock on the door and actually see if they're in, or will he just leave it on the doorstep and take a picture? Doesn't look like he'll do either for now. He's still in the van. You can see him on the map on your phone, but he doesn't seem to be moving.
Well, let's see if they can get themselves a good delivery at this point. Throwing out ults just left, right, and center. NIP, there is no direction to the ults they're throwing out here. I mean, they've got themselves a pick on bot side, but I don't think Wayward is going to die here. He's a tank Rek'Sai. He's just going to start 1v2ing.
Yeah, he's almost winning that one, but he stayed too long. He got too confident, but Shanji was baited in, and the Rek'Sai escapes away once again. Shanji still surviving somehow as a pick on to stay. WE forced back now as NIP have a moment to capitalize. That's 2 fights in a row that stay goes down, and now NIP grab a Drake.
Yeah, the Dragon didn't fall in the last confrontation. You can see that Shanji really well played around his Rage Bar and the Eclipse for the shielding. Means that he stays up in that fight and stay. Not for the first time, this AD carry has been caught out in important moments, in important team fights. Last time we saw this was just in the fight before this when the Baron came through. You can see how much the Eclipse can help in terms of burst, in terms of that extra shielding, but Wayward just so tanky, buying up a lot of time. You'd think in a lot of ways, you know, oh, you're buying up so much time in this 1v2, surely you're winning the other side of the fight, but NIP manages the position well. Shanji just about gets through with an empowered Q and an Eclipse shield on top of it. And that's a heck of a threading the needle by Rookie.
I didn't see the rocket during all of the action. I was looking at Shanji. But you can never take your eyes off a Rookie, can you? Heng going to be rooted up here. Big damage out from these rockets, even onto a Mundo at this point in the game. And it does feel like, yes, we've had an Azir versus Corki game, and yes, it's been a bit of a slow one. But we're getting to the point in the game now where we're headed towards 3 items, and that's where these matchups really kick off. Photic already on the 3 on the Lucian as well. No Baron on the map for now. It's timing out for WE. They've not really got a whole lot done with that buff.
Not a huge amount, but they have allowed the game to stall out while NIP have been struggling to make plays. They cancel a teleport. Wait, is Aki going to die for this, though?
I don't know. As he tries to go in to deny this play, he ends up going down. Zhuo looking for these bubbles, looking to save his jungler. I mean, I'm not 100% sure what just happened in this play, honestly.
I think he tried to stop a teleport from FoFo going towards side lane play to try and shut down Shanji, who'd stuck around to take bot side turret. But I mean, you can see just the issue here with Photic. Yes, he's on 3 items, but he's going into carries on the other side, which even with the Lord Dominic's regards being buffed up for the 3 item spike of Photic, are going to out-damage him even at this point. We'll get back to a replay of this and see that there was a teleport away. They see him hit. Yeah, they're trying to teleport to get a 2v1 on the side lane. So Aki says, okay, I'm going to save Shanji on the side lane, and just doesn't realize he would die for the attempt. The last minute or 2 from NIP, it's been really quite lost. They've been throwing Mark ults willy-nilly. They've been throwing Nami ults into Narnia, and that one feels like it's just the cherry on top. NIP, they need to settle down. WE feel much more calm, and they feel like they're much more heads in the right place for this game right now. It's a slow late game. Feels like NWE, they're very much at home with this. Aki's going in again.
I was going to say, this is WE's comfort zone. This is the kind of game that WE absolutely love to play. Slow as you like. FoFo on Azir, stay on the Zeri. Like, big old front lines. They've got ways of engaging. This feels very comfortable for them. And Wayward as well has the ability to be creative on this Rek'Sai and find opportunities around the map. Like you say, this Lucian getting sort of past its prime at this point. Not that it doesn't scale at all, you know, Photic's still going to do damage later on if he gets a chance to get on Stay or FoFo, for example, but you don't have the advantage because guess what? We're also going to be at the point where Stay can also do damage back.
Absolutely. And Navori got an extra 5 AD in its build path. It builds out of a BF sword now instead of a pickaxe, which can make the build path a little bit more awkward to buy it, particularly as you used to sometimes get Navori as a second item, but now with 3rd item and the extra 5 AD definitely helps you with that 3 item spike. The price is still the same, all the same, so it's a straight buff to it. So this AD carry very much online. Navori very good at just chewing through tanks. One of the big things about Zeri is that now you've got that Hurricane. If you jump forward with your E and you start spamming through those Qs, you'll get so much mobility and extra ability to keep pace with those tanks. Stay over the rocket there, though. Doesn't have sustain in this build. Needs to be careful. Rookie on the other side. Shojin built up through Adam Swag with a Hextering kick. Does a lot of damage alongside Photic.
That's a big rocket. Stay feeling the brunt of it. Good lord. Shanji, in the meantime, thought he had an all-in onto Wayward, uses that Dominus. That'll be on cooldown. Now granted, the cooldown not as long at this point in the game, so should still be up by the time we have a fight for this Baron. I don't really expect either team to try and force things. I say that, TP from Wayward, behind enemy lines. Photic could be in trouble, or maybe just Zhuo gets the knockup. Zhuo flashes straight onto it, but it's 1-for-1 so far, as Lwandy just gets one shot.
Man, it's Wayward once again being part of that real initiation of flank threat, the unseen submarine from the side. It's going to be support for support. I really feel like, though, without the Nami buffing up the Lucian, that's a lot of the power from NIP gone down. Remember that Lucian really needs that vigilance passive part of that light slinger when you're buffed up to really help them get through things. See that Heng as well on this Mundo. I haven't really had to talk about the Mundo that much. Build himself up to a Warmogs. It means that any damage you get to try and kill through the front line, if you don't finish him off, he's just going to regen up to full within a few seconds beyond that point. WE, even though they lose that support, they hold themselves firm in that mid lane, and they walk forward even more. Again, vision control. That vision control allows for this again. Wayward, unseen on the flank. Flash doesn't carry Zhuo to safety. It's a good Maokai ult to separate out the team fight. Yaki does a good job there to make sure that there's no follow-up onto the other members, but still, the fact that this play could happen out of vision from Wayward is a big problem.
Zhuo getting caught out there. The fact that the flash is essentially onto the Rek'Sai as well, not ideal. But gold is basically even in this one. And while, you know, we're talking conversations of scaling, there's always a chance in League of Legends. There's always room for misplay and punishment. Rookie on the wrong side of things here. Is WE are kind of corralling NIP
Wayward
into the play. Wayward just dives across, but Rookie's there with a package to try and answer. It's way too little, and it's way too late. Stay able to clean things up as Rookie forced out by Heng. Wayward looking to chase as well as Rookie forced out of the play. And in the meantime, FoFo was pushing this whole time.
NIP fall apart around the Baron. It feels like when the game slows down, WE just settle into this dominant style of play. In a matchup that we thought that NIP should be coming in feeling pretty confident about, WE are proving that to be a lot more closer than we potentially thought. WE dominant game 3 after it slowed down.
My goodness, WE are coming out of the woodwork. Not only do they take their first series of playoffs against OMG, now 2-1 up against NIP, the underdogs in the matchup, 9th seed versus 5th, but it does not feel like it on the Rift.
NIP, I feel like we're revisiting some of the old conversations for them where they get themselves that early lead, but they just can't hammer the games home. They got themselves early gold onto the Corki. They had themselves the power spike with Lucian as well, at the 1-2 items, but the fact that they couldn't end up pushing that further, you can see that Photic in particular felt like he knew he had to make plays, but when he was jumping forwards, he was getting returned back onto, because actually WE could actually stand and fire by that point. It's a big problem. NIP, they need to find themselves compositions they can more easily pull the trigger with, because once again, they got stalled out. WE showed that when the game gets slow, they are much more prepared to take that game and actually win it.
Yeah, they are comfortable in these slow, drawn-out series. WE feeling pretty good. We're going to go into a break and find out how this one continues. Can NIP push us to Silver Scrapes for a second time in 3 series?